Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to see that you made it back. I did too. I can't believe that I'm actually going to go through with this, but I've made a commitment, and it takes me a while to make a commitment, but once I do, I'm in for the long haul. Anyway, today is January 15th, and this means it's time to tally up week 1 and week 2. I'm doing a 1,000 pound challenge here and hoping to collect 1,000 pounds of things that would normally go into either the garbage disposal or into just general trash. I guess recycling too, if you think of it that way, but my recycling is separate. I'm not counting that. But things like cardboard that I normally would recycle, they are things that are actually going back out into my garden. So it's 1,000 pounds that's actually going back into the garden. If it goes through the worms first, that's even better. So what I did is I took a little day timer, or a little planner here that was a freebie from Boys Club. We donate to Boys Club. We think that's a very good cause. And each day I have been keeping track of what I'm recycling as far as weight. I have a little kitchen digital scale that I purchased several months ago, and it weighs up to 25 pounds. And it's a good size. I mean, you know, for a kitchen scale, it's probably, I don't know, a 6x9, and it has a little digital reading. So the first week was like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I'm going to be able to complete this. Every time we took something out, I said, don't just throw that in with the worms. Wait, I have to weigh it first. So it's getting Rick and I both on board with this. In the first week, I collected either through Rick cut the grass, so I had grass clippings. I pulverized leaves that I brought in from outside, so that got counted. I came up with 20 pounds, 2.1 ounces. So just to go over very quickly with you what I'm actually putting in here, what's kosher, what's allowed. I have a fruit and veg peels. Now this was a good week. I had I made potatoes, so I skinned the potatoes. I had potato skins, carrot peels, just our general banana peels, strawberry tops. Trying to think of anything else that went in there. If it was fruit or vegetables and it got skinned, it went in. Eggshells, of course. Oh, I didn't bring my eggshells back out, but you guys know, I think everybody who's into worm farming knows that eggshells are our cheapest grit. When I first bought my can of worms, I paid $235 for the whole setup. It was the can of worms, the 3-tier set, 2 pounds of red wigglers. I think they were $60 out of that 235. Cocoa core, and a bag of rock dust. And the rock dust was special rock dust. It came from somewhere in Colorado, and it was like, whoa, this is really good rock dust. For a pound of it, it was like $20 for a pound of rock dust. And I think now that I'm really, I don't want to say I'm really into cheap, but I mean, there are so many cheaper ways of doing it, but eggshells are really a good source of it. Shrimp shells, coffee grounds. This, by the way, we had salmon the other night, and can you hear it? I took the skin, and normally the skin goes out and goes into a bag, and I put it in the freezer, and then that goes out with the garbage at the beginning of the week. And I thought, I wondered if I baked it till it was really crispy. and then just kind of pulverized it. You know, you could use a mortar and pestle. I would be careful not to use, how do I want to say it? It has a lot of oil to it. You know, the oil is in the skin of the salmon, so it keeps it able to move through those cold waters. Anyway, I tried a few times breaking it down, and I mean, I was just covered in oil, so I don't know if you wouldn't want to gum up, say, your coffee grinder or something along those lines. But you could use it. You know, this is great for feeding the worms or feeding your soil. If you don't have worms, you could put all this in your compost pile. It's not worms only. So save the world. You know, 1 pound at a time, or 1,000 pounds at a time. The leaves, these are pulverized Drake elm leaves. They are more acidic than they are alkaline. The oak leaves that we have in our area are from a live oak trees, and they're like little oval leaves, and they're much more alkaline. They take a long time to break down. Then they become acidic. For anybody who has live oak trees, you know that it's very hard to get grass to grow underneath it because the soil becomes so acidic. And of course, these are my carbon sources. You know, you need carbon against nitrogen for compost, but the worms also are benefited by it. This is a 18 page through my composter, through my shredder, that's the word I wanted. And I have to say, boy, you know, if you have a heavier cardboard, it squeals going through there. I wish now that I had gotten a 24 page shredder. That would have been much more beneficial. It would have probably cost me 2-3 times. This was an Amazon Basic. I think you can go on and you can get them for like $60, but very beneficial. I mean, people actually take their papers and have them shredded by companies. You know, if you have legal documents and stuff you want to get rid of, but for that, this basic shredder is terrific. Anyway, a combination of these two is really great for your worms. I've done experiments where I've only used the leaves. The leaves take longer to break down than the pulverized leaves. Obviously, there's more surface. So, leaves, I have moringa plants out there, and I've given my moringas to the leaves to the worms, and that's great. Paper towel rolls. Geez, I weighed a paper towel roll. It was 1/2 pound. I mean, it was a big one. It was chunky. But I thought, you know, all the things that we do really throw out, toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls, things like, of course, you're going back to Kleenex boxes. You know, you think you live in an apartment, what do I have? Boy, if you're a human, you're probably throwing away a lot of things. You have a vacuum. Your vacuum cleaner, stuff that comes out of your vacuum cleaner, whether it's your hair or whether it's just dust and dirt. We have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. This is just a for instance. We're just under 2,000 square feet. Most of our house is tile through the walking through areas, and I have 2 big carpets that are just throw carpets, like a 6x8, and then the bedrooms are carpeted. But everything else, you know, bathrooms, everything else is just sweep it up. And Rick swept it up and he threw it away. But I vacuumed, and I have a HEPA filter in my vacuum, and I weighed it last week and I weighed it this week, and I got 3 ounces just in the carpet. And we're just 2 people. And so, you know, what do we carry in? And again, Rick is already sweeping the tile floors, so it's just in your carpet. And I thought, 3 ounces times 52 is 156 ounces. 10 pounds is 160 ounces. So we take out, just in the carpets, almost 10 pounds of dirt. There is some hair in there, believe me. But for the most part, it's just dirt. So you think about what we throw away. We go, well, just throw it in the trash. Just a little bit of trash. It's amazing what we could eliminate from our sending out to the trash and being put into landfills. Dryer lint. It's always controversial. If it's cotton, it's wonderful. If it's synthetic, to be honest, if it's synthetic, you're probably not going to get a lot in your dryer lint. That hangs on pretty well. But I can tell as I'm taking it off, it feels like cotton. And anything like stale cereal, crackers, don't throw it away. Put it in your compost or give it to the worms. Worms would love it. Okay, so time to tally up. So boy, this is an exercise in addition, isn't it? And I'm making myself do it pencil and paper, old school. You got to keep the old minds going. So my goal was to hit 20 pounds a week, and last week I got just over 20 pounds. And boy, I was really running short, and I kept thinking, geez, I could pad it, I could make some more leaf mulch, what have you. But then my neighbor Brian brought down, he cut his grass for the first time this year. Yay, Brian. And he brought me a bag, and as I said to you, my scale only goes up to 25 pounds, and so I had to take it out and weigh my container and then weigh it in batches and what have you. And thank goodness for Brian, because his little clippings came up with 21 pounds. So I was golden to begin with. And as it turned out, then for the week, I got 39 pounds, 3.9 ounces. So adding the two together, I'm not going to be real specific here, but it comes out to just shy of 60 pounds. So boy, I've already got next week made for me. Unfortunately, Rick is not planning to cut again this month, and Brian, I know, won't cut again this month. So I'm on my own for the next 2.5 weeks. So anyway, that was it. I hope you guys are going to have fun with this. I certainly hope to, and I'll take you along each week and show you what I'm doing. I think it's pretty simple. You can see what I'm doing, and that was it, my friends. I hope everybody's going to have a great day. And this is we're almost halfway through January, and we are having a cold front here in Florida. I would show you where the worms are, but I'll save that drama for another day. Needless to say, no one is sitting outside in mid 30 degree weather. And yesterday I went out there and I stuck my thermometer in the soil of my Jack and Jill, the oblong worm bins, and they were registering 40, and I thought, whoa, those worms are really. So I got my sprinkling can and I took rainwater and heated it up to 100, and then I just sprinkled on the top, and it brought it up a couple degrees, but I thought, no, those worms need to come inside. So we toted them in, and everyone is safe and sound. Anyway, that was it. I hope you all have a wonderful Sunday, and I hope if you have your coffee or your tea, you take a sip now and then. By the way, this is my mother's old dishes that she left to me. My mother's motto was, you leave things for people who mean a lot to you before you die. That way they have years to enjoy it and years to remember you. And she died in 2004, and I use her tea cups every morning, and I say good morning to her. So that's my nice way of remembering someone who was very special in my life. I hope you have that same treasure in your life. So take care, everybody. I'll say goodbye, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.